In this video, I am going to tell you how do you prepare the profit and loss appropriation account when in one of the adjustments you are given how much commission is to be paid to the manager. Now, as we get to do this particular question, one thing which I want to tell you is, which we have discussed in one of our earlier videos as well, is that the manager's commission is a business expense. It is not an appropriation to the partner's account. What this means is that it should be forming part of the profit and loss account and not the P&L appropriation account. What this does is that if you are given certain profit numbers which are before charging such a commission, to arrive at the balance that has to go to the profit and loss appropriation account, you have to make appropriate adjustments for these amounts. Let us understand how that is going to happen. This video is brought to you by Arinjay Academy, and you can subscribe us by clicking this link over here to stay updated about more videos which we will be uploading. So profit and loss appropriation account with manager's commission. X and Y are partners sharing profits in the proportion of 4:3, or in other words 4/7 for X and 3/7 for Y, with capital of 6 lakh and 4 lakh respectively. Interest on capital is agreed at 6% per annum. So if you look at it, in the case of X, it is going to be 6% on 6 lakh, which is 36,000. In case of Y, it is 6% of 24,000, which is 4 lakh, which is 24,000. Y is to be allowed an annual salary of rupees 60,000, which has not been withdrawn. Right? During 15-16, the profit for the year prior to the calculation of interest. Now here lies the catch. Prior to the calculation of interest on capital, which are these two numbers, but after charging Y's salary, amounted to rupees 2,40,000. Now, is Y's salary an appropriation or is it a charge to the profit and loss account? The answer is simple. Since Y is a partner, it is a appropriation, right? Which means that if any amount is given after charging such salary, when you look at the balance which has to be brought down in the profit and loss appropriation account, that should be grossed up to include this salary. A provision of 5% of this amount. Again, you have to be careful with the language. A provision of 5% of this amount, which is 2,40,000, is to be made in respect of commission to the manager. Right? Prepare profit and loss appropriation account showing allocation of profits. Now, there may be two views which might be possible as to whether when you have this word, this amount, whether some may come back and say that it has to be profit. But you can appropriately incorporate a suitable note to say the assumptions that you have made. Prepare profit and loss appropriation account showing the allocation of profits. Let's do that. So profit and loss appropriation account for the year ended 31/3/2016. So the first one is to interest on capital X. X was entitled to 36,000. Y was entitled to 24,000. How much was Y's salary? The salary to Y was 60,000. Right? Now comes the trickier part. What is the net profit which has to be brought down here? You are told that the balance of the net profit available was 2,40,000, right? But this was after charging Y's salary, which means the amount which would have come here should have been higher. So you are going to add Y's salary of 60,000 over here. The total amount that you get is 3 lakh. But is this the amount that should go as a balance brought down? There's one more adjustment which I told you, which is that there is a commission of 5% which has to be made for the manager. And since it is given that this has to be for this amount, we'll include it as a part of 2,40,000. 5% of that will be 12,000, right? Which we are going to consider. Now I have shown this note here in the profit and loss account. You can actually show this as a working note. Less commission of the manager, which is 12,000. The reason I'm reducing this is, if you were asked to prepare the profit and loss account, you should have actually showed 3 lakh as the balance there, reduce this commission, and then the net difference, which is 2,88,000, should have been carried forward to the profit and loss appropriation account. In this case, we have just showed this as a working because we are not asked to prepare the profit and loss account, right? So if I just do the totals of the two side, 288 is what I have over here, 288 is what comes here. From this 288, if I have to reduce 36 plus 24 is 60 plus 60, 120. So the total profits which is available for distribution is 1,68,000. What was the share of profit of X? It was 4/7, Y was 3/7, right? So X is going to get 4/7 of 1,68,000, right? Y is going to get 3/7 of 1,68,000. The answer that we get in these two cases is going to be 96,000 for X and 72,000 for Y, right? And that's how you prepare your profit and loss appropriation account.